I've talked about this before, but I wanted to say that for those that don't have a controller, keyboard controller, but you maybe have a MacBook and you're using something there, but you prefer the touch of the iPad, these both work in conjunction, especially if you have iPad and a MacBook. So between IDAM, you can use like a keyboard like this, like Sequence AU. If you click here, you can route it to the IDAM host. You have to enable it on your MacBook, and you do so by going to the audio Midi setup and then enable. Once it recognizes the iPad, now you have an instrument, right? So if you click up here on like this instrument track, this keyboard here can now play the instrument up here. Okay, pretty cool. But that's not where it ends. You also can use this as a controller. So maybe you enjoy making the music in the iPad, but you prefer being able to sequence it and arrange it up here. Then you can still do that. So you can set up an audio track, go into your settings here in your DAW, and change it to audio input device iPad, right? Because it recognizes the audio as well as the MIDI. And you can see, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And you can see, you can use so if you look here, arm the track, and then let's say you want the beat to be, I'm gonna do something kind of slow, like 74. All right, set a metronome on, press record. All right, perfect. So now what do you have right there? Recorded piece of audio. And you can zoom in if you want here and do your editing. If you look there, there's all your notes, right? And the warp markers where you can just warp it and put it where you want it. Does pretty good though on its own. Without it, you don't have to warp it. Of course, I was drumming a little bit off too. But you get the point. What I'm saying is that this could be like your tool, like your instrument, and then just our sound module and your controller. Open this back up, back up to this track, and now you can start recording your pianos or whatever. And I like Sequence AU because, first of all, you don't have to have these stacked. You could have it just like this. But you get about 25, which is the same as those little small controllers most people. And the higher you hit up on there, the velocity changes. Right? So you get the velocity change, plus you get the pitch and the mod wheel right here. Mod wheel, and this probably won't do much. But you get a point. All right. So it's a really cool thing that you can do between getting the audio, having a controller, and having all that if you have an iPad. Now, if you have the iPad mini, this might be a little more challenging because the smaller the screen, obviously if your hands are big, you're going to have trouble using it, but it doesn't mean you can't. You can use it, and you can use the iPhone to do the same thing too. So it works really well. So just an option if you don't have a keyboard and you don't feel like spending the money for it, but you do have an iPad, and some people like to work in the iPad. You can even start your beat in the iPad and then send it over. Of course, some of the programs, particularly this one, allow you to export to Ableton Live sets or even Ableton drum racks. But even the fact that you can send your sequences out of it and export them out is still nice. You have options. So anyway, just a thought. iPad and the computer working together is really a cool thing. And it's been out for a little while, but every time I've used it, I found it got a little bit better. So just wanted to show it to you again as an option for those that don't have a controller.